loads of things that I can talk about Carlton, but unfortunately, no, this is not the platform for it. I don't know if the Borders had a nickname for you, which I wasn't aware of. If you, if you put me on the spot now, so yeah, yeah, it is BoseDK.
Come on, Ra.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Carlton D'Souza, and today joining me is a very good friend of mine. I'm privileged to call him a friend. His name is Yadush Bose, and he is a professional marketer who believes in making a difference through very meaningful experience. In his travels throughout, he has come up with this motto that all you got to do is do. He also has a podcast, and he and his co-host speak to individuals who have chosen an uncharted path towards what they believe that they can make a difference in. And it's been very encouraging because I also got to tell you that has inspired me to do what I'm doing right now. So I find a lot of inspiration with my batchmate, with my friend, and I'm so glad that he's a part of this. What Yadush doesn't really like to show is he's very talented. Anything that he does it with a lot of hard work. And he just finished playing cricket yesterday at a very high level. Okay, and I also saw in one of his posts that when he was, I think, 15 years old, and he hit his first century, he called his mom with a coin phone, and he told his mom that he scored a century. And very recently, he did that. He still does it. He plays cricket at the highest levels. And funny thing is, he also plays football. So, without any further ado, Yadush, the nation wants to know: will the real Yadush please speak up?
It's such a privilege to be talking to you after so many years. We've had some very good times when we were in school, and I've been following your career as well, pretty much. And I know that you're making a huge difference in children's lives, teaching them sport. Because the question that you asked me, I'm coming to why, because is that the question you asked me is who is Yadush? I think what you do as a profession is my passion, sport, right? Yadush is somebody who learns every day, I would say, from sport. I cannot live without sport. The reason being, it humbles you, it keeps you honest. You cannot bullshit there. Sorry, you may want to cut that, but you cannot fake anything in sport. You have to be honest, you have to be disciplined, you have to accept failures as it is. There is no presentation slide that will make it look good, which is what many of us do professionally, and that's no harm in it. It is expected from us, from our jobs probably, to make everything look good. But when you really ask yourself that question, is it honestly good? you know Probably it's not, and that's where sport comes into your life, where for example, let me take the most recent example. Yesterday I was playing a finals, like you quoted in my introduction. I was playing a finals of a tournament. I'm the captain of the team. I have a huge responsibility to motivate 11 people on the field. I have a huge responsibility to make sure people are doing the right things as per what they are expected to do, as well as what they want to do, right? A team is all about giving everybody the right opportunities. And as a captain, I'll tell you, it's one of the most difficult things I get to do. And we were the table toppers in that tournament. And imagine coming to the finals, and we had the most pathetic show from the entire team. I would say pathetic only because of the result, but I know honestly and sincerely everybody put in 200% to try to win. But that's not the case in sport, right? You want to win, you'll give all your effort, you'll give your blood, sweat, and tears. It doesn't happen sometimes. You just have to accept failure, because there was just some things that just don't go your way. And the beautiful part about it is you accept that failure. So me, who is Yadush, a person who learns every day, every weekend, how to live my life from the sport I play. It teaches me leadership lessons, it teaches me teamwork, It teaches me discipline. It teaches me how to keep quiet sometimes.
Very essential. And yes, I completely agree. uh, Sports teaches you failures, and you can't, there's no two ways about it. So commiserations on the result of yesterday's match, Yadush. I just wanted to ask you, at what level do you play? Because when we were in school, you played at a very, very good level, and you always did have that kind of opportunity to play higher. But was there any roadblocks on the way when coming to, because you said that this is your passion, but I'm sure cricket is your first love, as you mentioned in so many posts of yours.
Yeah, so cricket is definitely the first love. There's a funny story to this, Carl. Probably you may not know this, but there was an incident way back in school that actually made me take up cricket so seriously. Sometimes being denied an opportunity can become the biggest motivation for somebody to work your way through to get better than everybody else, right? I mean, I'm not the best of cricketers you'll find in the world. I'll be very honest about it, but I know that I've given everything for it. I may not have played the greatest levels, but I know what happened. So when we were in school, there was this inter-class match. I don't know if you were there in seventh standard in Joseph. I don't recollect, but I think yeah, you joined eighth. Yeah. So in seventh standard, I remember there was this A versus B and B versus C. There was a cricket match being planned, and this was like legit cricket matches, not like the ones we used to play in basketball court after school. Not those ones. Legit ones that were happening in the down flat. For those of you who are listening, down flat is a very popular flat in St. Joseph's College in Connor. That's where most of the sport happens after hours. So there was this match that was being planned, and I wasn't selected for the B section. Like they told me that I wasn't good enough to be a part of a section class. Like, so I was very disappointed. I remember going back home and crying. I remember crying, feeling very, very bad about it. And that's when a story of camp came in for selections for the school team. uh, but then before that, what happened was, there was this inter district tournament for which Nilgiris district was making selections in the Joseph's grounds. And it so happened that I got to know this, like randomly I got to know about this, and I just went for the selections and I got selected, and I played for Nilgiris district even before I played for St. Joseph's. So from not being selected to in a class match, I just went right up to the top. And then I came back to St. Joseph's, and then I was made vice captain of the under 13 team. So this is all when I was 12 years old, right? This is way young for anybody to even remember, I would say, but it stuck with me a lot. That kind of kept me going. I wanted to keep performing, so I captained the Nilgiris district in state level tournaments for like almost 13 years in all divisions: under 13, under 15, under 17, under 16, under 19, under 22, senior districts. It went on. So my life was just went on with cricket. But from a levels point of view, yes, that's probably the highest I played at state level tournaments when I was at my peak. But after that, I realized, life cannot go on just by playing cricket. You need to get realistic. Either you need to be really good, or you need to know the people who can push you to that place where you can get the right opportunities to elevate your game sense and elevate your performance to the next level when you play with those kind of people, right? So that didn't happen for me, unfortunately. Like, I didn't have connections, I didn't know whom to speak to. Unfortunately, my parents also did not know much about the sport. So I did not get the backing that many people got. Like, I remember when we've played inter-district tournaments, there was like an incident where there was this captain of Trichy and I was the captain of Nilgiris. We both performed very well. And then there was this captain of Theni district guy whose father was like the secretary of Theni district, and he had a lot of pull in TNCA and stuff like that. it's not for me I'm talking for Darshan, who's the captain of Trichy, who played so well. I became a fan of him because he was so good. Despite me and him scoring somewhat similar number of runs, I know that he was so much better than me. But even he didn't get a chance, because even he didn't know whom to speak to and all of that. So at levels, every level, it has its own difficulties. Today I'm playing cricket because I want to be associated with the game still. I still play first division cricket in Nilgiris. I still have the same team that my first coach put me in. I manage the team now. It's been 21 years since I've been playing for this team, which is a long time. And yeah, that keeps me going, Carl. I don't know if I answered your question, but I think I gave a lot more than that.
You did answer the question, Yadush. Actually, you gave out some very good information. But what is that one moment that gives you strength at any point? Now, this was sport, but even right now, with so many things, see, you're managing your work, you do events as well, you have your podcast. That is also something that you do work with, especially with season three, uh, and also so many other things. How that what is that one thing that gives you strength?
Yeah, I think to be honest, if I have to say what keeps me going, I know I said sport keeps me going week in, week out, but there's this urge for me to, be better than what I was yesterday. So that is something that I take from everything that I do around. Like for example, at work, I have a lot of, especially in my current job, there are so many kids around, right? And I kind of get inspired because they are at their best. When you're talking about 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, that's like the best time of your life, when you can yeah, young adults who can just absolutely do anything. The energy is there, the mind is fresh, no baggage, and these guys are out there to kill it, right? And if you gotta be at your best, you can't always think you need to challenge yourself with people who are senior to you. I feel if you can challenge with people who are junior to you, because they, I feel, have so much of exuberance flowing through in their life. It happens with me in football too. But today, if you tell me, a game of cricket makes me so stressed, but a game of football just relieves everything for me. And I go there and I play with 22-year-olds, and some of them actually have told me, dude, you don't behave your age. The reason why I don't is because I want to compete with them, and that's what I would say keeps me going, is making sure that I'm still trying to match up myself with people who are doing their best. And this is not a matter of comparison. I'm never comparing myself to anybody. I hate it. I would never advise anybody in life to compare yourself with another human being. Never ever do that. But you can always get aspired to reach a level of another human being. That's different. Personality, talent, skill, never compare. Never ever compare. But achievement, somebody is achieving something through certain things, like their personality, their talent, their skill. They're getting to a place. You can also go there, but do you have it in you mentally? That is what is, because a lot of people, once you pass a certain age, start giving into things that, okay, I'm old now, I need to stop doing this. Probably I'll take up a less demanding hobby, less challenging hobby. But no, I would say do it as long as you could, as long as your body and your mind allows you to. Sometimes body also doesn't. Sometimes body doesn't. The mind should keep helping you do that, and that keeps me going. That I want to challenge these kids. Let's see if they can give me a run for my money.
I hope you encourage them also that way. Looking at you, they'll be like, okay, now see, look at this guy. He has a drive, so I aspire to become like him.
This happened in 2016, actually, when I was going through a phase in life where uh, things that you shouldn't learn from me. I was doing things that nobody should ever even learn from uh, what I was doing, because I was losing focus. I was losing my path. I was always born as an active person. I lived as an active person throughout my youth, and then there was this phase where I became very inactive. I was like in a slump, and then there was this moment when my dad passed away, and that was like shocking because never expected him to do that. He was a strong guy, and I remember even in his late 70s, he used to like wake up in the morning, do his own laundry, do his own kitchen work, do his own. I mean, he used to exercise at 5 a.m. He used to like ride an RX 100. So very, very different kind of an old age person. When that happened, I was like, there was a bulb that just went off. What happened to me? Like, why am I like this? Then I started going back to running, and when I started running, I used to buy a lot of Nike merchandise, and the just do it was like, okay, yeah, this sounds really cool, just do it. But then just do it is like, okay, whatever it is, you'll do it. But there are sometimes you don't want to do some things, right? People you have to do it, but you don't want to do it. Then what do you tell yourself? Go again, just do it? No. Sometimes you'll have to also console yourself that, okay, this has to be done, not just because it's beneficial for me, but it's something that has to be. It's like duty, right? You have to do your duties. There are some things which are duties, there are some things which are passion, there are some things which are responsibilities. Very, very different things. I don't know if I'm making sense, but in my life, I've seen it like duties are so different from responsibilities. Responsibilities are so different from passion, that what you want to do. So I thought, if I have to do all of this, all I need to do is just do, right? So that's how that whole motto came up. And yeah, I'm trying to live up to that motto that I set myself about 6.5 years ago, uh, which has kind of changed the way I approach life. Sometimes I don't get affected if something is going wrong. I try not get affected, because again, all you need to do is just do.
And that's how you started running. Then I see your 5K runs, and then I see your half marathon, and you ran a full marathon as well.
No, not yet, and I'm not sure if I'll ever do it, because you know, I also would tell you this, that I also went overboard in sport, in running, injured myself a lot. I have torn muscles everywhere. I have rolled ankles, grade 3 tears everywhere. But I still don't give up. I still push as far as I can push, but that's not right. That's not right. So if anybody is listening to this, don't do that. Train hard, train hard, build your strengths, uh, build your bodies before you want to do this extreme levels of yoga. Okay, I'm gonna run 21K, I'm gonna play football, I'm gonna play cricket, I'm gonna cycle 60 kilometers a day. All of this I do, but the only thing that I failed to do was train for it, which was not, again, nobody told me to do it. I just wanted to do all of these things. I wanted to like get into the thick of things. But I realized, as time passed, as I kept getting injured, it is so much more important to spend more time building up for the sport rather than just playing the sport. So that's when, if I may, during the pandemic, I started. I mean, I always was very fascinated by headstands, so I started doing these headstands. And one of my very good friends from IBM, he used to work in IBM. This is again nothing to do with the brands that I'm mentioning here. Just referring to my job roles. I used to work for IBM, and he kind of pinged me saying, "You're doing well. Are you practicing?" And I said, "No, I'm not practicing. I'm just doing it because I just like doing it." He's like, "Okay, but there are a lot of techniques around these things." I said, "Okay, I don't know any of it. I just started doing it because I like doing it. I like to see myself doing those things." So then I asked him, "So uh, how does it work?" Because he actually left his corporate job. I have an episode about him in my podcast as well. Vivek Iyer is his name. He left his corporate job to learn yoga. He gave up. Yeah, his he changed his entire life in overnight, just overnight, changed his entire lifestyle from being very body abusing kind of lifestyle to elevating the body kind of lifestyle. So, brilliant person. I mean, if you have the chance, please listen to that. But brilliant person, and he kind of imbibed this yogic approach to things that I do. I am not a yogic. I am not a pro yoga guy, but I think I've learned few concepts here and there that I'm able to apply in situations that are extremely taxing and pressurizing, especially when it comes to work, when things are not being done in the right way, but still you need to like keep yourself so calm and make sure you don't kind of offend anybody, but yet tell the truth about how things are actually happening. And he did that for me. Like, he actually taught me yoga for like 4.5 5 months. Then again, unfortunately, I tore another hamstring playing cricket, while playing cricket one of the weekends, and then I couldn't do yoga again for like quite some time. Then again, I started it when I recovered, and I still keep doing every now and then, here and there, a little bit, because I keep doing a lot of things, Carl, which is okay, again, not advisable, but if you like it, why not go for it?
Yeah, there's one moment in your life that you'd really like to forget.
Um, yeah, so I think the one moment that I'd really like to forget is, I think I kind of stopped talking to my dad. Uh, like, we never spoke to each other for a couple of years before he passed away. So there was this moment when I decided, you know what, I'm not going to speak to him. Um, there was there was many reasons behind it, which I'm not gonna be sharing, but I'm sure many people would be in similar situations. But I think if I want to forget, I want to forget that we had that blank space in for that much time. And if anybody else has similar things going on, just forgive, forget, and just move on. You never know when things go so wrong that you'll regret it. So just be open and just allow yourself to be more forgiving.
Thank you for being very honest. And there are many people in similar situations. I am also one of them.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised the number of people going through these things, Carl. It's just that they don't have, I mean, yeah, they don't talk about it, or they feel very say subdued about it. They shouldn't want it to be out in the public. But honestly, there are like, you think you have problems, but when you meet people, you know that they have problems way beyond the problems you can imagine.
Yadush, uh, to make it a bit lighter, nicknames. Let's go for nicknames. So, what is your favorite
I
nickname?
think there's this one nickname that just stuck from ninth standard, is Carlings. Okay, man. I don't know if this will relate to anybody, but this is from a Tamil movie joke where one of the comedians receive a red rose from the heroine. And this happened to me in ninth standard, where there was a girl in the tuition class who came with a rose, and she kind of gave me a rose, and I had no idea how the hell I'm supposed to react. And my one of my best friends, back in the day when we were in school, unfortunately we don't speak much these days. You know him very well, Ratish. He was the guy who started this off by saying, by referencing the dialogue from that movie to that particular scene, because it was absolutely identical. It was so identical, just that I wasn't a comedian. That's the only difference. It's like, there's this scene in this movie called Metukudi, where the heroine is like giving a rose, and the hero tells the comedian. Actually, the heroine was supposed to give the rose to the comedian because he loves her, but in the turn of things, it so happens in the scene that she gives it to the hero. So the comedian is feeling very bad that she gave the rose to the hero. So the hero tries to make up for it by telling the comedian, the rose that she was giving you now, that is for you only. It's not for me. It's for you. It's just that she handed it over to me. அந்த பூ கொடுத்தாங்கல்ல அது கூட உங்களை பார்த்தா கலிங்ஸ். That is the dialogue. And this is something that Ratish, I mean, we used to have so much fun talking about these things. Yeah. But yeah, life changes. Yeah, always remember those great moments with my best friends. Never ever forget it.
Yadush, imagine someone coming to you and saying, "Hey, what's the name of your podcast, man? Basket?" What would you say?
Yeah, it is BoseDK. Real people, real conversations.
BoseDK, the podcast. Yeah, and the name comes because this is Yadush Bose, and his co-host is Deepa Kedoor.
Kedoor, yeah, that's right. So her name is Deepa Kedoor, and so we used to work together in our previous jobs, and we used to do some really good stuff together. I mean, there are very few colleagues that you can actually click completely in terms of work, where you like trust completely that this person can get the job done 100% the same way that you would get it done. So that's how, when I got this thought during the pandemic, that when I was looking at LinkedIn posts and Facebook posts, oh my god, people are already experts of how to manage lockdowns. It was just a month of lockdown, and by then people were just saying, I have mastered how to you know manage the pandemic. We've not seen a pandemic in like what, 80 years, since the Spanish flu, probably, I'm guessing. But there were people talking about what you should be doing as a prescription from morning till evening. These are the things you should be, not even saying that I do this and I find comfort in it. No, you should do this so you'll find comfort. This is like, hardcore advice within like 1 month into the pandemic, and I felt that was just so wrong. I'm telling you, people are saying that this is the new normal. No, this is not new normal. This is abnormal. We were in an abnormal state, and calling it new normal was very wrong within the first 3-4 months. And that's when I was like, it was getting into my nerves, and I said, okay, you know what, I want to talk to people who can really tell the truth. And I knew a lot of them. Honestly, the reason why our podcast worked was both of us knew a lot of people who had similar mindsets, who can't take this unreal, superficial conversations. People who actually do stuff, people who actually go above and beyond and do stuff, which are things that normal people or regular people who were posting these things can never imagine in their lives doing those things, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how the podcast came into existence, and we are proud of the name. It's BoseDK, the podcast.
And I encourage you to listen to his podcast, which has over 10,000 plays and been listened to people worldwide, by youngsters, by everybody who needs inspiration. So that's where you need to go. Dude, let me tell you something. Whoever you got on your podcast, I have sent LinkedIn request to them. If they're not on LinkedIn, I joined them on Instagram because it was so inspiring. I'd love to connect with these people because I felt a connection there. So what you are doing, Yadush, is absolutely amazing, and I'm super impressed with you. And that's exactly why you are someone I really wanted on this podcast. This is so encouraging. Imagine I'm getting to podcast my inspiration and my friend. So I feel that you are doing a fabulous job. And when I mean you, not just you, Yadush, even your co-host, amazing job, buddy. And do keep up the good work. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. Yadush, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions for Yadush Bose, do let us know on the comments below. If you need to get in touch with him directly, I am going to send the link. I mean, I'm going to mention his link on the description along with his co host for BoseDK, the podcast. Do have a listen, very inspirational. And Yadush, is there anything else you want to tell the viewers?
Yeah, I think firstly, thank you for having me on your show, Carl. It's such an honor, I would say, because it's I'm so glad that you chose me to be part of this. So, so thank you for doing that. And from what I want to tell to the people who are listening is that whatever you do, do it with utmost conviction. Give it that 100% sincerity, and mm, for a few things, especially when you're starting off early in your career or early in your youth, where you're playing a game or starting a new job. Try not to say no for too many things. Try to do as many things as possible, and that's where you learn where you can go wrong and where you can go extremely well, extremely right as well, which means you'll figure out what is your cup of tea, which that is only possible when you say yes to everything initially in life. I know there's a lot of thing out there saying that no, you need to know when to say no, you need to say no to a lot of things. Yes, you need to do that, but you need to learn what you need to say no to. So which means you need to do a lot of things. Only when you do a lot of things, you learn what you can say no to. So all you need to do is just do. So keep that in mind, and all the best.
Words of wisdom to live by. Thank you so much, Yadush. Thank you so much for your time. I'll talk to you soon, bro. So that concludes today's episode on career opportunities and secret of success. What did you think about this? Please comment below, or if you have any ideas as well, we'd love to hear from you. If you want to know why we do the videos that we do, here's a link. Have a look, and you'll also find similar videos that would help you in your journey towards your career or career opportunities. If you find value in this video, hit the like button. Please share it with the ones who you think could be benefited by this, and do subscribe only if you think that's the right choice for you. Have a nice one, and I will see you soon.